On WKYT this morning, we're tracking a serious crash out of Garrett County that sent 4 victims to the hospital.
We're tracking a home invasion in Lexington in which a homeowner had his dog to thank.
And the search for a missing man in Laurel County has ended well.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
And very pleasant and very early good morning to you and welcome. Good to have you with us on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for being in.
Going to check weather as we head out of 2014 and into a brand new year. Cloudy skies today, and we're going to get that New Year's Eve forecast.
And southeastern Kentucky could get some snow flurries, believe it or not, early this morning. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell tracking it on our First Alert Defender.
And I'll tell you what, guys, it is cold out there. Temperatures have taken a nosedive into the mid-20s in most cases here in central Kentucky. Just a touch warmer to our south, but I'm really splitting hairs because it's 28, 29 degrees down there in most cases. 25, though, right now here in Lexington, 27 in Danville, Frankfort, Mount Sterling, Richmond, all of that 27-degree mark here this morning. Defender tracking some of those flurries a little bit earlier, but now that moisture started to pull away a little bit. The only thing they'll run into now would be maybe a flake or two that's left over that's just so light that we can't even track it. That's what kind of system that is. We'll track all of the changes in the cold air coming for New Year's coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you. Here's the latest from WKYT. This morning we're continuing to track a dangerous crash out of Garrett County that sent 4 people to the hospital.
The crash happened on US 27 just north of Lancaster. Investigators say a van and pickup truck collided head-on around 9 o'clock. They say one teenager with critical injuries was airlifted to UK hospital. 2 others, a mother and teenager, are in critical condition. A 13-year-old girl is stable. Deputies are headed back to the scene today to investigate exactly what caused the crash. Well, new this morning, Lexington police are searching for a robber. The robbery happened around 2:30 this morning at the Candlewood Suites Hotel on Adcolor Drive. Police say the suspect stole cash from the register and robbed the clerk of his own cash. They say the suspect took off in a dark SUV. The suspect described as wearing a mask and dark hoodie.
New this morning, a missing man has been found safe and sound, and the Laurel County Golden Alert is over. Deputies tell us that Kenneth Green was found safe Monday in Sweetwater, Tennessee. That's Green's hometown. He was reported missing over the weekend. His family became worried when he called from a London gas station and said that he was out of gas.
A Lexington man found an intruder in his home overnight, all thanks to his dog. The home invasion happened after midnight at a home on Barnard Drive. Police say the suspect came in through an unlocked back door. Luckily, the homeowner's dog alerted him and the intruder ran out of the home. Police say the suspect is a man about 5'6" wearing a dark hoodie. They tell us he did not get away with anything.
Lexington police officers had to tase a man overnight after he ran toward them with a wrench. Police say they found a man trespassing behind a business on Nandino Boulevard. They tell us the suspect was under a truck and trying to possibly steal the battery. When they asked him to stand up, he refused and then ran toward them with the wrench. The suspect was tased and charged with trespassing and menacing, among some other charges. Well, witnesses tell us that it sounded like an explosion, and this morning we're learning some new details about a crash in Clark County that killed 2 people and shut down the Mountain Parkway for several hours.
Police say a car crossed the median of the Parkway and slammed into an ambulance yesterday afternoon. Happened near the Powell County line. Police say the people killed were in the car. WKYT's Jordan Valines has the latest on the investigation.
As Junior Smith and his family drove their way down the Mountain Parkway Monday afternoon.
On our way back home, and the ambulance just passed us, and there was a car coming from the other direction.
Tragedy unfolded
Across the medium and into the path of the ambulance.
Before their very eyes.
It's just like a bomb going off.
A car carrying a man and woman crossed the median, hitting an Owsley County ambulance head on.
And it flipped the ambulance on its side and scooted way up the highway there.
The collision crushed the front of the ambulance and left the blue car unrecognizable.
The first thing is just shock, and you hope no one is seriously injured, but in this case they were.
You've got 2 vehicles both going the speed limit, 70 miles an hour, that collide like that basically head on. You're looking at a 140-mile-an-hour impact.
Smith and his wife ran to help the 2 inside the car, but it was simply too late.
We was first up there. Yeah, they were 2 dead in the small vehicle, and the driver of the ambulance was trapped, and the other one, we got him out.
One of the ambulance employees was flown to UK hospital, the other taken to Clark Regional Medical Center. Their names, along with the names of the man and woman killed, have not yet been released. In Clark County, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Well, we called the Allen Ambulance Service, which operated that Owsley County ambulance. No one there wanted to comment overnight.
4:35 on WKYT this morning. Family members of a man killed in a crash over the weekend say he was returning home from spending Christmas with them. Investigators say 41-year-old Christopher Truesdale died after a car crashed into his van on Interstate 75 in Madison County. His mother tells us Truesdale grew up in Mason County and he spent Christmas there last week. They say the crash happened just 10 miles from his home.
Oh, we were really close. Me and him and I all weekend I kept saying to him, "You're your mother's child," because he acted just like me.
Police say a mother and her 2 children inside the car were injured. They say the mother and a 12-year-old are listed in critical condition. A 5-year-old child had non-life-threatening injuries.
Well, it's being called a freak accident. Investigators say a Central Kentucky woman died in a fire that was sparked by her own cigarette lighter.
And they say the lighter exploded on the woman at her home in LaRue County over the weekend. And as Jerica Insko tells us, the woman's daughter says there wasn't much she could do to help.
It's hard for those who weren't there to believe it, but even harder for those who witnessed it, like the woman's daughter.
It's still hard to believe.
Karen Redmond says her mother, Helen Fields, was sitting in her wheelchair inside this apartment. Redmond tells us she was there when her mother was smoking a cigarette and her lighter suddenly exploded, catching Fields on fire.
I tried to get it out and I couldn't get it out.
The heat and flames were too much. Even a neighbor and a Hodgenville police officer jumped in and tried to help.
When one of the paramedics got there with the ambulance, he grabbed fire extinguisher off his ambulance and sprayed her down.
But it was too late. Fields' body was badly burned. It's a death that has touched the first responders involved.
I mean, it's very tragic. My heart goes out to the family.
And since it's her mother,
Mama just loved people. She was very quiet, and she didn't fool with a lot of people, but she loved people, and people loved Mama.
Redmond is having trouble dealing with this freak accident, but most of all, the loss. Jerica Insko, WKYT.
The Kentucky State Fire Marshal's Office and the state police have both ruled the death to be accidental.
This morning, we're tracking new details in the disappearance of an AirAsia flight. Items resembling an emergency slide, plane door, and other objects were spotted in the sea during an aerial search. Indonesian officials say they spotted victims in the waters near where the missing flight was last seen, or bodies, we should say. The bodies were brought to an Indonesian Navy ship to be identified.
A fire destroyed a family's home in Montgomery County. That happened at a house along Prater Lane Monday afternoon. Firefighters say a couple and their 2 children were home at the time, but they did manage to get out safely. Firefighters say by the time they got there, there was not much they could do to save the home. They say the family will stay with other relatives for now. Firefighters are not sure what caused that fire.
What police say started as a fight ended with a murder outside an apartment complex in Perry County. State police say 21-year-old Edward Hughes and 29-year-old Alan Williams got into an argument late last night outside of Cherokee Hills Apartments in Hazard. Police say Williams pulled out a knife and stabbed Hughes in the chest. Hughes later died at a hospital. Police arrested Williams and charged him with murder. He did not want to talk to us from jail.
Richmond police have arrested a man who they say accidentally shot and killed his friend. Police charged 19-year-old Richard Seary with reckless homicide. They say last night he was holding a rifle when it went off, shooting 24-year-old Cody Dittman in the head. It happened in an apartment on Wayne Drive in Richmond. Neighbors say they heard a loud noise and they didn't know what happened at first.
It's kind of shocking, you know. It's sad to hear that something like that would happen in this apartment complex, and it was just shocking and sad.
Richmond police say Dittman pulled the barrel of the rifle toward his head while Seary was holding it, but police say the safety on the gun was not on and the rifle fired.
Construction crews began filling the sinkhole that opened up at the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green. Crews are putting gravel and other materials into that hole. They're also plugging openings to a nearby cave. The sinkhole opened up in February in the museum's Sky Dome, swallowing up 8 Corvettes. Museum leaders think it will take about 2 weeks to fill the sinkhole, but they're going to keep a small part of it open as part of a permanent exhibit. They expect that exhibit to be ready for visitors by Labor Day of next year.